Thank you. There's a shocking new study on drinking water. An Associated Press investigation finds traces of prescription and over-the-counter drugs in U.S. water supplies. Those include antibiotics, ibuprofen, even sex hormones. Traces of those drugs turned up in the water supplies of 24 major metropolitan areas, affecting about 41 million Americans. Joining us now on the phone, Ben Grumbles. He is the Assistant Administrator for Water at the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. In plain English, he's the guy who oversees drinking water and makes sure it is safe for customers across the nation. So, Mr. Grumbles, what do you say to people who are concerned about the results of these tests?
Well, I say America's water is the envy of the world. We still continue to have one of the safest drinking water supplies in the world, and we are committed to keeping that water clean and healthy and taking responsible actions that keep drugs out of sewers and streams.
Well, how can you do that? I mean, it sounds like they're already there.
Well, there are a lot of steps that we're taking and using science to help lead us, and also partnerships. Everyone has a responsibility to not treat the toilet as a trash can. So we've issued guidance and are working with communities across the country on voluntary take-back programs for unwanted or unused pharmaceuticals. The other point, John, is to continue to invest in the science of being able to detect truly tiny amounts of any emerging contaminant. And that's what we have here, truly tiny amounts that are not presenting a risk to public health, but are giving us some...
There's not a problem resulting from the trace amounts of these chemicals, you're saying?
Well, we believe the scientific jury is still out on the potential impacts on the ecosystem. We're concerned. We're taking many steps, working with other agencies and regulators. We want to be proactive and take responsible action. And one very important message is that the toilet is not a trash can, shouldn't be treated as one, and that the science, we need to continue to develop potential standards and approaches to measure drugs and other types of contaminants that might get into our water supply.
Yeah, I always thought I was doing the right thing when I flushed my out-of-date prescriptions down the toilet. You say don't do that.
Well, there are about a dozen prescription drugs that specifically say on the label to flush them down the toilet for various security-related reasons. And we're saying, of course, you should always follow that prescription, what's on the label. But more generally and importantly, don't be putting down personal care products or pharmaceuticals, unwanted or unused drugs down the toilet.
This story is going to send people, running to their nearest bottled water supplier. Is that an alternative here?
Well, we think that America's water supplies, our drinking water system, is one of America's greatest liquid assets. The water is clean and healthy, and people should use that as a great resource and continue to work with their communities, public water systems. Tap water is generally very safe, and communities should check with their local utilities. But frankly, John, we don't see this as a threat to public health at this point. What we see it as an opportunity to increase public awareness, invest further in the science of detecting contaminants. We have known for years that there are minute nanoscale amounts of various types of contaminants. The science is now getting so good that we can detect it at incredibly small levels.
I guess that's the good news here. You're seeing what's there. All right, Ben Grumbles from the EPA. We thank you.
Thank you.